In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to go over everything you need to know about marketing starting from square one. But before I do that, I want to set some expectations here. There is so much in marketing and creating a marketing plan and funnels and brand versus brand identity and KPIs and optimizations. I get it. So I'm going to make this as simple, actionable, and as easy to understand as I possibly can. Just take a seat, relax, grab a pen, open up a new blank Word doc, and let's talk about everything you need to know about marketing in under 10 minutes. First, I want to get a little bit more specific and say that I'm going to be relating all of this to digital marketing, but these same thoughts and principles and techniques are relevant to marketing as a whole. You see, marketing itself is just promoting and selling products or services, or in simplest terms, it's like advertising. Traditional marketing being things like print, radio, TV advertising, and digital being social media, SEO, which if you don't know what that is search engine optimization, and we will get to that shortly, and email marketing, just to name a few aspects of it. So to effectively market yourself or your brand or your product, the first thing you need to understand is, well, yourself, your brand, or your product. So let's talk about brand. This is a common misconception, but your brand is not your color palette, your logo, and the fonts that you use. That's your brand identity. It's like a visual representation of your brand. Your brand is like the meaning or story that people attach to you as a whole. And then branding is the work that goes on behind the scenes to manage all of that. Let me give you a quick example. You know this logo, I'm sure it's one of the most iconic logos in the world. The fact that you knew that this was the Nike logo before I had to say that it's the Nike logo is a testament to the strength of their brand identity. So for Nike, under their brand identity, we have the logo, we have the slogan, just do it, and the color palette, which is usually just black and white. The brand is a company that values hard work, it's inclusive, they value athletic excellence, they innovate, they inspire, they're viewed as pioneers. They work with the best and the best choose them because they are the best. And this completely defines and informs the rest of their marketing strategy. You can see it in how they make their ads, where they put them, and who their target audience is. The trick to effectively figuring this out is using what's called the golden circle. I'm not going to get too much into it here, but I do suggest that you really take the time to think about this, because the more fleshed out you have this, the stronger foundation you'll have for a marketing strategy and optimizing it in the future. So the golden circle is broken down into 3 different sections, being why, which is your core purpose, how, which is your core values and your principles, and what, which is your product or your service. Generally, when we communicate, we start from what and work our way into why. And because of that, this is how a lot of marketing is done. This would be saying something like, we sell the best athletic shoe. We worked day in and day out to make them last longer and reduce the impact on our customers' knees. We believe in making better shoes. See how hard it is to get behind a product when you work from what to why? The why, the core purpose of the company, the mission statement, if you will, it's weak. Now compare that to this. We believe in inspiring greatness. Through relentless innovation in sportswear and a commitment to inclusivity and athletic excellence, we empower individuals to push their limits, fostering a global community united by the transformative power of athletic achievement. This is the culmination of that hard work. This is the new Nike Air Force One. See what a difference that made? That's why it's important. Okay, so now that you have your brand and your brand identity figured out, it's time to figure out your target audience or audiences. A target audience is a group of people defined by specific characteristics like age, lifestyle, income, geographic location, etc. And depending on the product or service that you can have multiple audiences, all of which are part of your TAM, which is a much broader view of the amount of potential customers you could have. One of my favorite quotes about marketing is, if you try to sell to everyone, you'll end up selling to no one. So really take the time to get to know your customers. I mean, most of our buying decisions are rooted in emotion. So in order to make sales, you need to make emotional connections. And in order to make those emotional connections, you need to understand their core values and what drives them. And in order to understand their core values, you need to understand who they are, how old they are, where they live, their life experiences, etc. There are a ton of ways to do this, but generally speaking, you're going to need to do some competitor analysis, do some market research, and also make sure you define who is not in your target audience. And think about it like this. You probably wouldn't try to sell Iron Man merch to a DC fan, right? As far as market research goes, here's what I would do. Start with your competitor analysis. Analyze them to find out their strengths, their weaknesses, and identify what sets your company apart from them so you can leverage that in your advertising to highlight your own selling points. Next, look at industry trends. What's getting traction in your industry right now? And while you're doing this, make sure to pay attention to customer preferences and any big industry-wide news. And last, something I see a lot of businesses overlook is just listening to the customers, their questions, questions, their wants, their needs. Use social media to see what questions or concerns people have with your competitors, and then figure out how you can position yourself as a business that can fix those concerns. So now that you have your target audience defined, it's time to pick a platform or platforms. Before we do that, a huge factor in deciding the best platform for you is figuring out your budget. See, every good marketing strategy will have a mix of paid and organic strategies, but if you're just starting and you don't have any money, then your best strategy is going to be going all in on organic marketing. Whereas if you have the budget, you can also invest in platforms like Google, Facebook, and Instagram ads. And then deciding what platform to use paid ads on goes back to your target audience, which you have now defined your target audience, so you want to go where their attention is. So there are a lot of gurus and experts that say you need to post 5 times a day on every single platform, but the fact of the matter is, for most businesses, that just isn't viable. So put your time, money, and effort where it will serve you best. If you mainly focus on B2B, which is business to business, if you're in an industry that's traditionally considered to be more of a corporate environment, if you're in SaaS, if you work with law firms, Google Ads, and LinkedIn are probably going to be your main focus. Behind that would probably be YouTube and YouTube Shorts, because it is the world's second largest search engine, and then Facebook and Facebook ads, maybe a blog, and then way down at the end of the line is Pinterest and Snapchat and TikTok and things like that. Now the caveat is that's true unless you're unbelievably good on camera and you have a knack for edutainment. But if that's not you, then those top 3 will probably get you better results than the rest of them combined. On the other hand, if your main focus is more in e-commerce, then all of a sudden TikTok and Instagram shoot up to number 1, followed by YouTube Shorts. If you have a service-based business to consumer kind of business, if you're an electrician, if you work in HVAC, insurance, things like that, then honestly I would say your effort is best spent between Google ads and Facebook ads. So at the end of the day, it's really up to you to decide where you want to invest that time and money. And again, you do that by figuring out who your target audience is and where they are. Now, the next piece of the puzzle is creating the content and a content strategy. There's 2 options here. You can either do this yourself or you can hire someone else to do it all for you. If you opt to hire someone else, this could mean hiring a graphic designer, an in-house photographer or videographer, or flat out just hiring a company like LYFE Marketing to do it all for you. And if you opt to do this yourself, what you need to do now is determine what types of content will make the most sense for your business. Think about the types of content you're going to be posting and the topics that you're going to be posting about. This is really decided by 2 things. What are your strengths and what does your audience want to see? There are quite a few ways you can do this. For example, if you're a strong writer and you're in an industry that people tend to discover businesses by Google searching and you don't want to be on camera, that's totally fine. You could start a blog. This is great for SEO, which if you remember from earlier means search engine optimization. This is basically just how optimized is your website to rank higher on search engines, aka how close is it to the top of a Google search. Now, I could make a whole video about SEO itself. Comment down below if you want me to. But having a blog filled with strong keywords that addresses frequently searched questions is a great place to start. Or if your target audience is on Instagram and you don't feel comfortable being on camera, you can take advantage of creating carousel posts and faceless reels where the main focus is the value that's provided in the caption. And if you are comfortable on camera, you may decide that you want to just go headfirst into video content, which is doing incredibly well across any platform right now. Platforms like YouTube and Instagram do place some importance on keywords and in SEO, but what really matters is the viewers, and the viewers want content that is high value. So when you write a script, don't just start jamming keywords in there. Talk to the camera and the audience like you would anybody else. In the same way search engines love keywords, viewers love high value content. So now you're asking yourself, what makes it high value? Well, it's defined by the 3 E's: educate, engage, and entertain. If you can follow those 3 E's, you're set. This stage is all about providing free value, showing your expertise and establishing yourself as someone with authority in your niche. Everything we've talked about so far is referred to as top of funnel. So this is just creating awareness around you, your brand, or your service. There are a lot of different ways you could see this online, but generally speaking, the funnel is meant to outline your buyer's journey and breaks down into these 4 sections: awareness, interest, desire, and action. The point of the funnel is to direct potential customers or clients to a desired goal. For some people, this looks like sending viewers to an online webinar or an online course. For some, this looks like sending them to their store. Or for some, it's just a discovery call. Funnel is really just a blanket term because there are so many different types of them. But basically, your funnel will probably look something like this. You have your content. This could be paid or organic. This is blogs, social media pages, everything we've talked about so far. This directs that traffic to your website or a landing page where you can show more of the value that you have to offer. A lot of people, especially entrepreneurs, use this as an opportunity for like a free ebook or something that requires you to sign up for a mailing list. Then they direct that traffic to a sales page by using that email list or using a call to action on your website. And then at the very end of that, you have the people that converted into sales. There are 1,000,001 different ways you can take this, different funnels you can try, different products or services to push, upsells, discounts, but at its most minimal form, this is your funnel. Now, the last piece of this is in monitoring and optimizing. Marketing is a game whose rules are always changing, especially in the digital world. Try new things, try new different types of content, and at first you will have no data to go off of. But if you stick with it and you keep trying, you will find what works for you. Maybe it's the copy, maybe it's the Reels format, but you'll find what's getting the results that you want and what's not. And it's up to you to notice that and keep up with what's working and cut out what's not. So in the digital world, this is seeing what ads convert the best, seeing the open rate of your emails that you sent out, seeing which ones were opened more than others, paying attention to the click-through rate and the viewer retention on your videos. All of that goes into making sure that you are consistently providing the most value to your customers and making sure that you get the best possible results for you or your business. So that's scratching the surface of everything you needed to know about marketing in about 10 minutes. But if you want to know how to take better advantage of certain platforms like Instagram, for example, you're going to have to learn their algorithm. So what I'd suggest you do is watch this video right here where I break down every single Instagram algorithm that they use to decide who they're going to show what content and how you can take fullest advantage of that.